48 minutes of dogs barking podcast turns 1 year old this week. Congratulations to Jason and Brian on your 1 year anniversary on your super duper podcast. This is Joe from Joey's World Tour. I'm back! Hey, big shout out to y'all. That is great. Congratulations, you guys. That is awesome. I know it's a lot of work podcasting, so good for you. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Get up every day and be like Ric Flair, be like a wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, limousine riding, jet airplane flying, good looking son of a guns. So, take care and all the best to you, my friends. And maybe someday I can be on your podcast. That'd be super duper cool, huh? Jason and Brian, or better known as 48 minutes of dogs barking. It's Joey from Joey's World Tour. I'm back. All right, muchachos, take care. Congratulations on your 1 year anniversary on the podcast. All the best. Have a great summer. Have a great holiday season coming up. And all the success to 48 minutes of dog barking.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking. Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
My least favorite ones are the ones where it's like, hey, it's John Elway and Kaylee. Have a great sweet 16th. I hope your big day's a touchdown. Yeah. You're like, fuck, that was $300. Yeah. Should we get Bam Margera? Is he on camp?
$250 for Bam Margera. Yeah. So
ape. I lost all my money, ape. I shouldn't joke. I watched a 90-minute documentary on YouTube about him last week, and it's just really depressing.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't make.
Yeah.
Kind of. It is kind of funny. He went on Come Town, and then his life immediately spiraled downwards.
Yeah, it seems like a series of bad decisions.
Have you ever listened to that episode?
I don't think I have. No.
It's amazing.
Well, thank you again to Joey's World Tour for taking my money and for doing that wonderful intro to the show. So it's 48 minutes dogs barking, as the man mentioned.
And it's 2 minutes long. We
It's 2
can
minutes
mine
long.
it for AI.
Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry, Joey. Finally have him do that whole bit that you did on the episode that never aired. That was our first. That's why I got Joey.
Who wants to taste Baja Blast for the last time? Who wants to get... No, fuck it. Get Baja Blast?
And the more I learned about Joey's World Tour, is the guy's annoying, but I don't know. At the time, I didn't know anything about him.
Right.
I was just understood what you presented to me, and now that I know something more about him through other podcasts and through you, it's maybe he doesn't necessarily deserve that.
No,
that anger and
it was damn funny though. It was damn funny. But yeah, that was our first episode. Was Joey's World Tour. We didn't really know what we were doing. I still have the raw audio, and maybe on the Patreon we'll drop that one for the super fans maybe. But
the super fans, yeah. Ken and my girlfriend,
right. So it has been a year, man.
That's wild to think about,
isn't it?
And we still haven't done a good episode.
You son of a bitch. One of these days we'll do one, and
we'll do one that's good. Well, we did one that was good. You just forgot to record it.
God damn it! You're gonna keep son of a bitch. Yes, he's right. By the way, it's very true. Well, today's episode hopefully will be.
You are recording, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. I am. Christ Almighty! Don't do that to me again.
You draw me a clock.
Yeah. It has been one of those days. I just spent like an hour and a half selling blueberries on the corner.
Is that a euphemism?
No,
for
it is
something?
not a euphemism. My kids went to my in-laws' farm in Belleville, picked a bunch of blueberries, and then we went and sold them right there in Tower Grove, and they made $80.
God damn, hustling. How many blueberries do they have?
They have 2 pints and 2 quarts left. They had 6 quarts and 3 pints. So yeah, we and then we also turned a bunch into some baked goods.
Mm-hmm.
So the baked goods sold out real fast,
of course.
And then it was pints and quarts. Yeah, the sun got to me, I think, because I'm a little
you're
whack.
You're looking a little swarthy. You
mean like an Italian? Is that what you're trying to say?
I work with a guy who's Sicilian.
Yeah.
He's very proud of it.
Yeah.
In his early 50s, and he likes to tell me stories about, back in the day growing up on the hill. You'd see some guy, some gangbanger walking across King's Highway, and you see the d***os come out with the bats and say, "Hey, turn it back around."
Mm-hmm.
And just like this conversation started out with you saying like it's kind of cool that I'm dating a mixed girl. Like how did we get here? You're looking like you're on the wrong side of King's Highway.
Is that what you're saying? Okay, all right.
Looks like you're a little lost there, but you come back over to our side.
We got the slick back hair today, so
you got the loud shirt.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm collecting these. I don't know what the deal is. I think it was when I went to Mexico right around this time last year. I was like,
we went to Mexico and learned that shirts come in colors.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, that shirts didn't necessarily have to be flannel, I think was what I learned. Well,
It's a hard lesson for us Midwestern men.
Oh yeah, especially Midwestern men in the emo and indie scenes, the early '90s, late 2000s. Like there are shirts other than flannels. What?
There's things other than flannels and Western shirts.
Oh, I used to have some of those. Those were really
I
nice.
still have a few. They don't fit me, but I mean,
me neither.
There's nothing really better than a good Western shirt.
With the little piping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you got
stuff.
the perloid buttons.
Oh, love those.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah. We both own a. Hey, check us out. We're wearing our Western shirts, and we're listening to the new trailer Dead.
Yeah, we got opinions about dinner. So this is a piece. This is a piece.
Hey, get that vampire weekend out of here.
The only A-punk I want to hear is Joey Ramone. Oh. Why did I do dice? I don't know why I
think that's kind of where it was going.
Well, in the New York Times, for whatever reason, in the style section, they decided to go into, here's the headline, is it a meal, a snack? No, it's girl dinner. Hey. Women across TikTok are showing off their suppers snack plates made by one person for the consumption and enjoyment of one person. This is by far the dumbest fad article that I've read in a while.
Yeah.
That's called having a snack.
Yeah.
That's called having a snack.
It looks like a
charcuterie.
I was going to say, like, it just looks like a improvised charcuterie board, and, that's fine. So it's, like, all, like, veggies and cheese. So was it implying that women are, like, something that stumbles out of the woods to eat something from a feeder and then goes back like a deer?
I think that is, yeah. So in the article by Jessica Roy, typical girl dinners may include some kind of fruit, a block of cheddar, sliced salami, a sleeve of fancy crackers, and a dish of olives. Girl dinner is, quote, both chaotic and filling, as one TikTok commenter put it, requiring none of the forethought, cooking, or plating demanded by an actual meal. You show me one person who is eating alone who is doing fucking plating. I'm sorry. There is no plating involved. No preparation, just vibes, says another commenter. And, I've had my fair share of, because I used to work overnights. I was out here. I was doing work from home. And, I've had my fair share of what I referred to as chip dinner. Whereas you just have a bag of chips for dinner.
Or you get, like, the salsa and the chips. And you just kind of just keep doing that process. And you're like, oh, time to fill this back up. All right, I am no longer full. It's time to go back to watching TV.
Right. Or just
go back to work or go to bed. Or
the Parisian thing of just like a meal being bread and cheese, and some wine.
That sounds beautiful.
It really does, especially a nice bread. Anyway, I have a problem with bread.
We made some pasta last weekend, and as we're finishing it up, I'm like, I'm gonna eat fucking bread.
Oh, what, no fucking bread now?
No fucking bread.
Oh man,
God damn.
Yeah,
it's like a horse kicked me in the head.
Yep. You gotta have. I'm sorry, you gotta have it.
It's just good bread or good cheese.
Okay, so there is one person who claims to have invented it. That was Olivia Marr, a showrunner's assistant currently out of work due to the writer's strike. Yeah, she posted a video. This is my dinner. I call this girl dinner, and it has since spread through TikTok. Very odd, and they're trying to make a whole big thing of it. Cooking dinner has been a woman's role. No, this is just lazy food. What are you doing?
You're like, fuck it. It's been a long ass day.
Right.
What do I got in the fridge? Okay, that looks good. That's like a meal, right? Like that's like at least 500 calories, right?
And what's even funnier is at the end of this article, Jessica Roy says, "You may be wondering by contrast what boy dinner might look like."
It's a calf skull and a Monster Energy drink that's been in the sun all day.
That's an even better response than what she found because she dug deep. Brian Lee says, quote, "Frozen pizza, deli meats, potato chips, no vegetables."
That's not entirely incorrect.
I mean, I enjoy carrots or celery or whatever, but yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening.
Learning all the different things you can put ranch dressing on. Like we've all had those struggle moments.
That's guilt. That's guilt.
I mean, like a boy meal is just a struggle meal without the guilt.
Pretty much.
With even I would say some enthusiasm. Making ramen, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Just throw out the packet, squirt some ketchup on there.
No, ramen's great. Yeah. Even if you got a little, soy sauce or some kind of, something that's not
some kimchi that's been in the back of the fridge for a couple winters.
And other weird stuff going on, actually TikTok related. Have you seen these TikTok lives where it's, someone doing?
No, she deleted the tweet.
No!
She deleted the tweet because she was like, it was becoming meta in a way that she did not like, and that other tweets based off of her tweet were also going viral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, the tweet is that whenever I see a TikTok live, I think I'm losing my mind. And
I'm seeing the end of society or something along those lines, yeah.
The clip comes from a live stream of Pinky Doll, a TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans creator, who has a whole thing about being an NPC. Every time that someone is on her live stream and donates, she does a reaction to it, and it's a reaction that's canned. Mm-hmm. So, gang gang is for some one of the icons. The other one is ice cream, yummy, doing like the slurp sound.
Yeah.
God, amazing. Ice cream so good. Ice cream so good.
And all the while, she's popping popcorn on a hair straightener. It's very fucking weird. There's a whole thing, and apparently it's not just this Pinky Doll, but apparently there's people all through TikTok are monetizing this idea. I'm going to perform in a series of exaggerated and repeated gestures like an NPC in a video game based on the donations I get and the icons that come up for me. There was one that I found where it was, I have it here somewhere.
Is it the Asian woman?
Yeah.
Can you watch her while I smoke?
Yes.
She's just making like generic anime girl sounds.
But then like, no spicy.
Roses. Chocolate crunch. No spicy.
That was the one that caught my eye. I was like, what the hell? And she goes full like gremlin voice, like, no spicy. And apparently they make money off this. This is the thing that really...
I'm actually kind of like mad.
You're mad.
I've been told by like people in my family kind of like, if you've been born a little bit earlier, the things that you wanted to do with your life, you probably would have been a little bit more successful with. And I feel like if I had been born maybe like 5 years later, I could have been a weirdo on the internet in a way that would have been really successful because like,
you could monetize.
Yeah. Because like I kind of came up in like the spot where it was like really hard to monetize being a weirdo on the internet.
Yeah.
In your early 20s, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, if you're like 22 or like 25 and you're like, I got a ring light And I've done poppers before. Yeah, let's
let's spend 3 hours just making some money. Yeah,
making some weird noises, looking like Bowser at.
I think that one girl was dressed as Pikachu. Just like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing, I guess. And I will come across those on TikTok, and I don't, because it comes up in your For You, in the suggested feed, but it doesn't show you the icons unless you're in the live. So it'll show you like a preview of the live, and you're like, that's weird. Move on.
Why is this person snoring gochujang?
Right, or like licking the air like there's an ice cream cone somewhere. It's very bizarre.
It's upsetting.
Another piece of upsetting news is, are you familiar with Archive of Our Own, AO3, as it's colloquially known?
I'm not. I've heard of it, but enlighten me.
So Archive of Our Own is a very, 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 very popular fan fiction site. So AO3, formative for a lot of Tumblr teens, a lot of people who grew up writing their own fiction on this site. And it's chock-a-block with a lot of horny stories.
Oh, okay.
And it's very, it's open to everyone. And I think on last track there was like millions of stories out there on AO3. Well, this week they were hit with a wave of distributed denial of service attacks, also known as a DDoS. Mm-hmm. A DDoS is malicious, usually. Like 9 times out of 10, if something is hit with a denial of service attack, it means that someone has pointed a piece of software at it to ping it a million times a second to get the server to go down. So someone wanted to take Archive of Our Own off the internet, like on purpose.
Right.
Well, what's really bizarre is that a group claiming to be a Sudanese arm of 4chan's Anonymous is claiming responsibility for it.
Wow.
I don't understand why Sudanese 4chan users would want Archive of Our Own off the web, but they claimed it would persist for up to 24 hours and issued a ransom demand for $30,000 worth of Bitcoin, which I don't think is even one whole Bitcoin.
That'd be like 1.1 or 1.2.
Oh, it's a little
Bitcoin.
over one. Okay. Yeah. AO3 is owned by a group called the Organization for Transformative Works. It's essentially a company that does a lot of stuff with fan fiction and that kind of culture. They basically said, we're not paying the ransom. AO3 is now back online. Anonymous Sudan has been around, at least recently, doing other DDoS attacks against Microsoft, what we would think of as big targets.
Yeah.
It's a niche site.
Yeah.
And it's such an odd thing. And now, of course, there's people claiming that Anonymous Sudan is a front for some Russian group. But again, who would want to take fan fiction off the web?
This, your horniness is haram.
Well, that's true. That's fair. I kept seeing posts that like, AO3 is down and I can't sleep because I need my stories. And that was it was both sad, funny, and heartbreaking. I don't know. I can't go to sleep without reading about Harry Potter getting railed in a sundress. It's just,
You come, slut, Harry. Instead of the sorting hats, the sorting cock ring. I don't know.
The fact that so many people that I followed on social media were really upset by this was eye-opening. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that many people read, all this smut. All right, well.
I mean, apparently, like one of the longest bits of fan fiction is Fallout Esquiteria.
Oh, wow.
It's a My Little Pony Fallout fanfic.
No, it's Equestria.
Sorry.
I only know that because my daughter watched the show when she was 4. Oh, boy. I had to put that disclaimer in there because otherwise you'd get the wrong idea about me.
I mean, like, I only know about it because of my full-grown adult friends.
Sure.
And
do they read it? Is that why you know about it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
One of them did.
Yeah.
Also, the terrible Jeopardy guy he was.
Okay. Yeah.
The one where people found his wife's Twitter account and was talking about how like he had poor hygiene and had like ants on him.
Oh god!
But I think one of her tweets alludes to like reading that fanfic.
Arthur Chu.
Arthur Chu.
Yeah.
Probably the quickest person ever to block me. You gotta watch that documentary. It is amazing.
Yeah. What is it called? This is Arthur Chu or something? Who is Arthur Chu?
Who
Okay,
is
that's
Arthur Chu, a sad man.
Very sad man. Well, speaking of sad men, Ron Gronkowski apparently getting annoyed at the baby Gronk phenomenon, basically saying that he's gonna cease and desist the baby Gronk people.
Is Gronkowski the new risking? There can only be one.
That's right. Former NFL tight end Rob Gronkowski said things have gone too far. 4 weeks ago, my brother told me, "Did you see baby Gronk yet?" Did I see him? I go, "His dad fucking hit me up like 500 times already." He goes, "Don't do anything. The dad is so annoying." And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, it's coming out everywhere, and me and my brother are dying laughing. Gronkowski says that the baby Gronk social media personality has gone too far. Quote, "It's to the point where it's awkward. We are cease and desisting baby Gronk's dad." Jake San Miguel, by the way, who fiercely controls his son's social media personality, this courtesy of Vice. Let's see. Including, did you see this one? Him directly telling what the son to say on a podcast?
No.
He was doing an interview with somebody. It was just one of those things where he goes, No, don't say that. Say this. Ask that again, bro. Say, and then he's telling the son, say, "Man, what kind of question is that? Did you see my answer?" Like, he's trying. It's such like a pageant mom type of situation with this baby Gronk dude and his dad.
That kid's gonna like commit suicide, or I think
sarin gas a mall. I don't know.
Honestly, I think like the best outcome for that kid is he just does something that doesn't involve sports. Like he gets into printmaking,
right? Like
he's just like, man, fuck this.
Yeah, starts a noise band. Starts selling artisanal salsa on the corner. I don't know, just something.
Yeah. Does the Hannibal Buress way of life.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is okay. I was wondering, like, wait, where did I get? Okay,
Star Salsa Company.
Yeah,
live in a warehouse with like 6 dudes. Star noise band.
Moved to Philly, buy a loft, start a noise band, get 6 or 7 roommates, eat hummus with them, book some gigs, paint, smoke clothes, listen to Animal Collective, start some type of salsa company.
I was wondering where that came from, and damn it, that wasn't mine. All right, well, speaking of,
it's okay. He's a landlord.
Yeah, so he's not a person.
No, he's not real people. Not because of the other reasons that people might suggest he's not a person. It's specifically because
landlord.
He's of the land leasing class.
You brought this one to my attention because I had almost kind of let this one wash off me, but
I was like, oh,
yep.
Well, isn't this quaint?
Yeah, Boogie 2988. Boy, I haven't thought about this guy in a long time. Maybe about a year, right? It was like January.
Been about a year or so since I think most people have paid attention to him.
Well, this is September 2020. The article you reminded me of, where YouTube content creator Stephen Boogie 2988 Williams pulled a gun on a guy, Frank Hassel, during a tense interview with Drama Alert host Daniel Keemstar Keem.
God, that was fucking Keemstar.
Yep. So, yeah, one of the guys came to his house with a GoPro strapped to his head. Stephen pulls a gun on him.
I like how when that first went viral, I thought like, oh, is this like a Mega 64 bit?
It does. Yeah, is this a GTA riff? Are they doing a thing? Very odd. And yeah, the infamous photo of Frank with GoPro on his head. So he's flipping Boogie the double bird with Boogie's got a handgun like at his waist, like pointed at this guy, like, get the fuck out of my house. He's back in the spotlight or the limelight or whatever you want to call it this week because he posted this, my one and only tweet about my age. She's an adult. She's 20. I am older. He included, of course, a picture of the girlfriend, leopard print top, cheetah tattoo, animal print on her shoulder,
50s grandma glasses.
Yeah, very much looks like a wild child who will destroy him physically. He says, but look at me, man. I'm fat, old, and ugly as sin. When an adult woman I get along with wants to give it a shot, I am going to do the smart thing and give it a shot. If you can't handle that, tell your therapist. Of course, that's racking up, hundreds of quote tweets and, people arguing with him in his comments. It's not all that weird. I got to say that. I don't like the age gap conversation any more than anyone else does, but it's also like she's of age. Like
she's of age.
It doesn't bother me. I don't know.
I think if you're like 23 or 24 dating someone 20 that's in like 20s, probably a little weird.
Weird.
Think, like,
yeah, sure.
I think like if she were 30, okay, that's just kind of odd.
Yeah.
I think that larger age gap, even if y'all get along really good, like I'm not even talking about anything creepy, just like what y'all got in common.
Yeah,
who's
that's true.
Who's the stunted one?
Right. Well, it's got to be him, right?
I mean, sure.
Because he's 48.
He's 40. God damn.
So
yeah, like if she was 30, this would be kind of like a non-conversation. But like, I remember being like 23 and going on a date with someone that was like 19 and realizing like, oh wow, like
I got nothing here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh, you lived in the world where the Simpsons were never funny. Kind of like one of those things. And like, there's an age gap with me and my girlfriend. I'm 30. Am I 37 now? God, that's terrifying to think about.
I hate the fact that we both have to go, how old am I? Okay,
God,
let me do the
because like
math.
it's not a good number anymore. It's like when I turned like 30 or like 32. Even when I turned 35, like it's 35, and now 37 is like, wow, this is a point where like stuff in my body really starts failing and stuff like armpits never stop smelling. But she's like 30, but there's like there's differences in like life experiences, like growing up and being like a young adult, but there's good commonality.
Oh yeah.
And obviously there's a sense of maturity, but the difference between like someone who's like 20 and like almost 50, like I think immaturity in life experiences, I think for most people that's too wide of life experience gap. I think for there to be something good and healthy, not saying that there can't be, because most certainly for every like girl I knew when I was 16 that was like 17, like dating a guy that was 28 and it was really creepy.
Yeah.
There was always like the one where it's like, well, they seem really nice together. like yeah, there's some probably like underlying like really fucked up, but like gets on her ass about school and like seems like not to be maybe he's just kind of fucked up, but like there's nothing inherently fucked up about this other than the fact that there's an age gap.
Yeah, that's where I start to get real weird about this age gap stuff. I'm like, well, okay.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, but yeah, 28 years does feel right on the edge to me of like, what do you fucking talk about?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Video games?
Pretty much. I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
The Fallout fan fiction?
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, like,
whether or not something's chuggy? Wow, it's all cap, for real.
Yeah.
Wendy's breakfast really hit the wall. On God.
I guess it really can be this kind of emotionally stunted thing because he's a guy who plays video games and makes YouTube videos for a living.
Yeah.
So maybe there is, I don't know. Again, it's not my business.
But he sure opens himself up for a ton of body shots.
He did, and I think he kind of told on himself later on his Twitter feed, though. He goes, yeah, well, I kind of do this every 6 to 8 months.
You guy!
Yep. It feels like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I got worked, is what
you ever work yourself into a job, into a work, into a job, into a work, into a job? However that Hulk Hogan tweet went.
Oh, shit, yeah. The funniest
work
part,
into a shoot. Sorry.
The funniest thing that Hulk Hogan has ever done is appear in court and try to tell a judge that Terry Boyega's penis is such he was differentiating himself from the Hulk Hogan character, but about dick size, it was very weird.
I don't know. I think probably the best Hulk Hogan thing is the video he uploaded on the Twitter, and this is the early days of Twitter, like 2009 or 2010, and it's him in a bathroom at like a doctor's office, and I think he's got some hellacious like gastrointestinal situation going on, and it's him just like, you can tell that he's sitting on a toilet and he's just like really flushing. He's like, brother, oh, it smells so bad, brother. Oh, it's a terrible shit, brother. Ooh.
And then he signs at HH, which I always
turd near my pool, dude. HH.
Turd floating in the hot tub.
It's turd near the pool, I think.
Oh, is it
he's like
near
turd
the pool?
near my pool.
Oh boy. It's time for Crypto Scam of the Week, Brian.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
I got fucking 3 things.
Yeah? Hey, buddy, did you hear the good news?
What's that?
Ripple's not a security.
Indeed, it's not.
But here's a bunch of other shit that goes against it.
Exactly right. The founder of Celsius pleads not guilty to fraud charges. Alex Mashinsky pled not guilty today to U.S. fraud charges that he misled customers and artificially inflated the value of his company's proprietary token. There's courtesy of Reuters. They filed for Chapter 11 in July of 2022, so about a year ago. Customers, of course, did a bank run, I guess, and they tried to get all the money out. Mashinsky and Ronnie Cohen-Pavin, is that the Pavon?
I think so, yeah.
Were charged with market manipulation for the company's crypto token, which is known as CEL, as well as a fraudulent scheme to manipulate the price of the cryptocurrency and wire fraud related to the manipulation of the token, according to the indictment. Prosecutors allege that he personally reaped $42 million in proceeds from selling his holdings of the CEL token. The U.S. Attorney Williams said that Cohen-Pavon is located abroad and is an Israeli citizen, so declined to comment whether he's going to be extradited. So we may not see him in a courtroom, but we certainly will see Alex Mashinsky. That's actually a little bit of good news, I think.
Yeah,
we're finally going to get
nailing these fuckers up against the wall.
Mom, one can only hope. Part 2 was Arkham. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? A blockchain intelligence firm called Arkham is opening an exchange where data on the identities of crypto wallet holders or owners can be traded and requested. Yeah, Decrypt.co gives us this by Tim Hockey, and they're calling it Docs to Earn. Yeah, that's not going to go well. So the 30-second promo video informs the viewer that the platform will let users anonymously buy and sell information on the identities of any crypto wallet address through smart contracts. I can see no way this is going to be a bad idea.
This is all above board.
One central feature of the platform is Intel Bounties, where those who need it can offer cash to blockchain-savvy analysts to identify any crypto wallet owner's name or address.
I think they mean like wallet address.
Hopefully that's what they mean.
Well, I think with like serial scammers and stuff you can tie back to launchers, they're funding wallets that end up pulling scams.
Yeah,
sure, but I still feel like that 9 times out of 10 this is going to not be used in a way that's going to be beneficial to most people.
To anyone. Yeah.
It'll probably be used to harass people and do all kinds of weird shit that we're not shut-ins enough to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
we may be both indoor kids, but we're not that indoor.
Exactly. Another Twitter user who goes by the handle @farp asked Arkham if the subjects of kidnappings as an enterprise had come up in their meetings.
The fuck?
Yeah. The hilariously named Fart Connoisseur III went one step farther. We are now one step closer to on-chain assassination markets. Mark Zeller, founder of AAVE DAO service provider initiative called AAVE Chan, posted a more sober response calling the idea a massive net negative. Doxing is not cool, and I am massively disappointed in y'all selling the ecosystem ethos for a shit coin.
Yeah, fair. I mean, one of the few things I think that's actually kind of valuable about the internet is anonymity. Obviously, people use it in nefarious means, and
it's a double-edged sword, for sure. Yeah.
If our anonymity can be bought so cheaply, then I think how contemporarily people are using the internet, I would say, is wrong.
Yeah, it feels like a real slippery slope. Like you're starting with the chain, but then there are people who are going to start doing this on Web 2.0 type platforms, and we're going to have some real trouble on our hands. I mean, a lot of that stuff happens already. I mean, you've got people who spend a lot of their time doxing people in random paste bins, and like here's here's Chuck C. Johnson's home address or whatever. It happens.
It's a house that smells like shit.
Every floor caked in it.
Just shitting out of his doo-doo ass.
You can't stop it. He's got it. Yeah. So our third thing is encryption AI. Oh boy. Can you guess what they did this week?
Got exploited?
No.
Were they rugged?
They rugged. Encryption AI promised a Telegram bot that would provide, quote, a secure and efficient way to launch tokens. It was going to be a platform where you can make your own tokens, from what I understand.
I could see how people would buy for this because Telegram is probably the biggest platform for crypto talk as far as like
Sure.
Being a first mover or being kind of like an insider, with probably Twitter being second.
People poured in about $2 million before the developer suddenly withdrew all funds, crashing the token price by 99%. The developer reportedly posted a message to Telegram apologizing for taking the funds. This courtesy of Web3 is going great. Quote, I must confess that I have fallen into a severe addiction to online gambling and casinos.
Strikes again.
Despite being only 22 years old, I have struggled to overcome this addiction, and unfortunately, I have lost nearly $300,000 over the past few months, including after the launch of Encryption AI. They added, although I cannot guarantee when or if I will be able to make amends and relaunch, I promise I will make every effort to be a better person. Thanks! Where's my fucking money? Like, Jesus
we gotta get these young people off that online gambling. Apparently,
I swear to God, man, Jesus fuck. I understand.
So I'm sorry. It's like at the Kia boy. Hey, I just need to take my grandma to the hospital.
I understand if you want to scam people. That happens all the time. You want to say, I got a technology that's going to do X, Y, and Z. Get the money and go. But don't pull this shit with the gambling addiction. Just take the money.
Penile implants on the blockchain. Let's do this.
It's your cyber e-peen. There used to be all those jokes about how your e-peen was going to be. Yeah, that's it. I think we got it.
One of those like little panty vibrators, but
controlled by the blockchain.
Controlled by the blockchain.
And you give it to like Riley Reid. You know, like I don't know,
Yeah.
Riley Reid coin or whatever. I don't know. It sounds like a solid business plan to me. I got a couple bucks.
Yeah, there's just some jokes I'm not gonna make.
No,
You know what, folks are just gonna have to wonder what's that thing I contemplated for about a good 5-10 seconds. I was like, you know what? Maybe some stones should remain unturned.
Okay. Fair enough. Here's some more of his statement. I understand it might be difficult to believe my words at this moment. Yeah, but I hope that in time, through my actions and commitment to change, I can earn your forgiveness. Aw. Where's my money?
That's nice.
That's great.
You've got money to write apologies, but where's the money you owe me?
Yeah, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh wow, yeah. There's no there's not even a dead cat bounce on that. That's
nothing.
just
gone.
straight down.
And that's 7 days too. So like, bong.
What we got this week there, J-Man?
Well, first we have Busch Light Peach. Gotta love it. But second, fat chicks and party hats, Brian.
Busch Light Peach?
Busch Light Peach. Yeah, it's their season. It's so apple is in the fall, peach is in the summer. Apparently,
how's the peach?
Pretty good.
I remember liking the apple quite a bit.
It very much reminds me of a Vess peach soda.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that kind of artificial peach flavor. It's tasty. Okay. So fat chicks and party hats.
Oh, this is a trip down memory lane. Yeah, I sometimes reminisce about the old mean internet.
Yeah. Well, this
this is most certainly it.
Yeah, this is it. So, fat chicks and party hats was I don't even know if it's satirical. I don't even know how you would even qualify it. It was just mean. It was just there's a website run by the pseudonymous Miguel,
which is a great
just Miguel's
fake name for early aughts internet.
Miguel's fatchicksandpartyhats.com. And that was the entire URL. It was part of the Portal of Evil network, along with Sean Baby Old Man Murray and a few other sites. It was literally a series of images of fat women in party hats. Like there's there's really not much more to it on a conceptual level than that. But of course, what really made it was the captions. And I think they chose Miguel as the pseudonymous author so that the comments could be not only in broken English, but broken Spanish as well.
Yeah.
So here's one. I, livin' la vida fato. We ate the prom, as you pointed out. It is some creature from a swamp. Blarg. That's a common blarg. You stupid fuck shits. I have an idea. Find my pants. I was too hungry. I ate my hat. Oh, what will you name the baby? He did kick. I am not pregnant. I am only a fatty. Full on.
So this is like kind of like Something Awful's Cliff Jablonski Hates You a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, or the Fashion SWAT.
Mm-hmm.
But less funny. I found Fashion SWAT at least had some. And
Cliff Jablonski, like, still, its weird meanness, I always found to be very charming.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of, yeah, this is I think something we found that has not aged well.
No, God, no. Yeah, I mean, it's a one-note joke.
I feel like there's a lot of things, even if like it's like now it could be seen in poor taste. Like, oh, you know, it was funny back then, and this just like, I think why I never really cared about Fat Chicks and Party Hats is probably because I looked at it once when I was a teenager. I'm like, yeah, this is just like mean. There's no like,
yeah. But what baffles me is that it was around for a very long time.
Yeah,
it was around for a very long time. They, of course, did get a lot of hate mail, much like our episode on the Real Ultimate Power, the Ninja site. Of course, the hate mail was almost part of it. Here's some samples from Jonathan Wheeler. Subject: Fat people. Hello there. I would like to inform you that before you continue the fat insults, run a spell checker. Fat people deserve correct wording as well. You never know when someone might devote a site to the misspellings of others, and you, my friend, have many. Signed, Jonathan. I get very much help to spell. Fatties write to say, here is help with words because I am so nice to help. Stupid, slur for a Mexican, slur for a mentally disabled person. I do not understand. Are the fatties an English teacher or a bitch? If I spell good, will you stop eat attacks? Here is a funny misspelling. Jonathan Wheeler is a stupid cunt spelled with a K. So, you know, these sites really just fed off of hate. Generating hate mail was almost like a badge of honor for these guys. It's called spell check.
Look at how care mad I'm making these people.
Yeah. Here's one. John Hagen, you are the biggest loser I've ever come across in my entire life. You don't know how to spell. But you feel you can make fun of others who probably have brains, unlike you. Whatever happened to intellectual thought and entertainment, I'll never know. But it's people like you who should be shot. And don't try to retaliate by calling me a fatty or a homosexual or a mentally disabled person. All very original, by the way. Because I am 130 pounds on a 5'7" frame, so I am far from fat. So I guess that makes me acceptable to you. Oh, lucky me. I get the approval of someone that life is wasted on. Have a nice day. I'm sure you will get your paycheck because karma works like that. Miguel responding, my family only knows about Jesus power. Thank you for the help with karma power. Hello, I am Mr. Karma God. John Pagan gets the gold prize of karma. Hooray. He did say Miguel is a dumb speller loser, so he wins a car and table. Also, he is a fatty and a homosexual. Oh my God, did forget he is also mentally disabled. For the homosexual prize, he wins a homo butt and a table.
A homo butt and a table.
Homo butt and a table.
This is probably the best part of the site.
That and the time that beloved internet guy Sean Baby leapt to Miguel's...
last man to have a faux hawk.
Indeed. He leapt to his defense. This is from an old Sean Baby a site there. It's been scrubbed because now of his work with 1-800 Hot Dog and all that, but it's still, it's we got it. Essentially, someone who was featured on fatchicksandpartyhats.com under the We Ate the Prom photo attempted to file a lawsuit. Now, this article, if you want to call it that, is basically Sean Baby and the Miguel character insulting this woman repeatedly in response. So it began Friday the 17th. A letter was sent to popular social critic Miguel Roya concerning his site, Fat Chicks and Party Hats. 2 days later, the same letter was forwarded to me with a request, quote, laugh at this fatty, and that is what I did. So yes, the woman here, I am one of the models from your Fat Chicks and Party Hats site. Alas, you did not get my written consent to use the copyright pictures that you stole from my website. In America, this is illegal. You have used many of my images for your stupid site, and I am speaking to an attorney. Let's see here. Should you elect to remove my images, no charges will be filed. Thank you. Pretty boilerplate. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. She's within her rights. As of Thursday, Miguel claims he has not been contacted by, again, this is Sean Baby's words, this rampaging beast's attorney, and does not know what a foreign piece of party fuck is. We assume that it has something to do with food. Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, a very odd hill to die on, because he devotes some real time in this
article. A lot of words.
Yeah.
But Sean Baby sure loved his words, 20 some odd years ago.
Right. Well, now he just podcasts them. It was mean. I think that's the main takeaway. I think it's mean.
It's mean, but not even like really funny.
No, not really. He goes on a whole thing about maybe when one of these people apply for a job, the interviewer says, "Oh my, according to a Mexican teenager's website, it says here you are made of ham. I'm afraid there's no place in our company for someone made of ham at this time." Like, all right. He got him once with the made of ham joke, and then you got to just... And I remember laughing at this. I remember thinking this was the funniest shit. To this day, I don't understand why. Like,
I think because it was just the internet was an outlet pre-social media, pre-complete over-corporatization for people who felt like marginalized. Maybe they didn't have like a good home life. Maybe like they
were aggrieved in some way.
Yeah, they weren't popular at school. They had a hard time socially. That this is a place where they could kind of get one up on someone else. Someone else, maybe I'm a loner virgin Mexican kid in Potosi or some shit, but at least I'm not a fat chick that works a terrifyingly dull office job. And here's a photo of her in a party hat.
Right.
I think that's like the basic premise.
So they were featured in Entertainment Weekly.
And Maxima looks like.
I think that's a Photoshop cover. It says, "What's the best thing about the web? Okay, besides fatchicksandpartyhats.com." They weren't featured in any real context. It was a piece that Jessica Shaw would put in every issue called the Shaw Report, in 5 minutes ago and out. So things that were cool, things that were not really that cool, things that were out. In this one here, in local personal dressmaker, 5 minutes ago, mass-consuming vintage, out, going bankrupt for couture. That one still holds up 23 years later.
Yeah.
Let's see here. In amihotornot.com. 5 minutes ago, fatchicksandpartyhats.com. Out, mulletsgalore.com. I don't know. I got to say, Mullets Galore probably outlasted all of those. Let's see here.
The ape drape will never die.
No. I mean, the minute Vandals wrote a song about you, you know you got it made.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Ralph Magazine.
Huh.
Let's see here. Mexican webmaster Miguel has fat chicks on the brain. The fat chicks have party hats on their heads. So this is an interview, supposedly with this Miguel guy. What's with the site? Is there a higher purpose? Miguel responds, the purpose is to warn the snacks. You are a snack. To a fatty, you are a donut in butter pants. Are you a secret chubby chaser?
Yes. To warn the snacks is a very early aughts witticism, a retort. Yeah. But then it goes into a range that's not funny.
Yeah, it's just, you take it too far. There's a,
Yeah.
Let's see here. How many people are trying to sue you? Only 5, but all are very, very fat. It means the total are 90 people. And this was...
But if he just said, only 5, but they are very fat, would have been
it's putting a hat on a hat. I think.
Yeah, you're ruining your own bit. And I didn't say you should do humor like this, but if you're going to do it, your artistry is lacking.
Yeah, the brevity is the soul of wit type of deal.
Yeah.
You really got to hone that stuff. But I mean, He's Miguel and we're not, so I don't know. What's that tell you? Yeah. All right, Brian.
What you got for me, Chief?
Enough mirth and merriment. Enough mirth and merriment. This shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Your mom's least favorite segment of the show. This here on our shock.jpg segment is called Two Friends, One Fish, Brian. It's a 41-second video.
Okay.
On the Meatspin Network.
So we know it's quality.
Yes. It's two gentlemen, one of whom is holding a fish up to the crotch of the other one, who has inserted his member into the fish's mouth. And pretty much it. It's just, it goes on for an uncomfortably long period of time. It just
gotta
ends.
be Dutch.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just, man, it does what it says on the tin.
Yeah. Two guys, one fish. I try not to, do any zoophilia stuff, but that one was just too goddamn bizarre.
Yeah.
There have always been those jokes, like if you've seen that Happy Fisherman drawing from decades ago where it's a guy who's fishing, but the fish is blowing him. It's surreal because it's like, this, okay, well, I get...
it's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So my question is when they're done with that, because that's not a bad looking fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing that a middle manager, a car dealership might take home and have taxidermy put up on a plaque. This is a fish I fucked. Yeah, he put up a good fight, but I busted in him deep.
Or do you catch and release so you can come back next week? I don't know. It's
like the episode of King of the Hill where they catch the fish with crack. But it's now, Bobby, be very careful. Take your penis out and gently put it in the fish's mouth. That's good. But Dad, I don't want Bobby.
You're gonna fuck that fish. God damn it.
God damn it, Bobby, you're gonna fuck that fish.
Well, so they did identify the guy, 27-year-old.
I would never want to be identified.
I know.
This is the guy that fucked the fish.
27-year-old Florin Reda. However, Reda claimed otherwise and threatened lawsuits against Romanian television stations if they labeled the man in the video as him. In 2014, the Metro published an article, Bizarre Video of Man Having Sex with Fish Goes Viral. It also appeared on the Daily Dot, Gawker, and other places as like, wow, look at the weirdos kind of thing. But yeah, it was two friends, one fish. I was wrong. It's not two guys, one fish. Two friends.
Two friends. It's
one
important.
Fish.
There was a bond that was being forged there in the fish fucking.
They didn't identify the guy who was holding the fish. And like,
maybe he had nothing to do. Maybe he was just holding the fish. And the other guy's like, I'm just going to fuck the fish's mouth.
I don't know. There seemed to be a little bit of like, is that okay? Am I moving this right? This look and this. Anyway, it's very this smile on his face there says it all.
Yeah.
Just.
That's like that smile you would give like in grade school. You're like, I'm not going to get detention for this. And like, oh, I got detention.
Fish and wildlife ain't going to give me for this. Yeah. That's such a weird one. All right. Well, that was our shock.jpg. I think now it's time, of course, for your mom's favorite part of the show. That's the breath mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
You saw Melanie Martinez, I understand.
Melanie Martinez, yes. She performed a sold-out show here at St. Louis Music Park in the suburbs.
I know.
Maryland Heights.
Out there in the burbs.
Out in the burbs on Monday, if I didn't say that already, on the 10th. That's live up on the artsstl.com. That was an interesting one because I think that's probably the longest line I've ever waited. I'm thinking like even like waiting for the gates at like Ozfest.
Really?
And like Warped Tour and stuff. I think.
Well, those festival days, people kind of come and go.
Sure, but like usually even like the gate open, like there's a pretty good crowd. I mean, like it's stretched around the side of the building on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Went down to one of like the like gates that like employees use.
Yeah.
And doubled back and then into the parking lot.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of people.
That was a lot of people. And I forgot that young people, regardless of the weather, will wear like the most uncomfortable clothing. I saw a lot of young women, female identifying individuals wearing stuff that was like vintage, like silk nightwear, but with like bondage stuff, like kind of like the Billie Eilish Vogue cover shoot from a couple of years ago. And I saw lots of dudes that looked like wet Subway sandwiches with these girls that were dressed like really, like had these really beautiful, like intricate, well done, like kind of like forest hippie rave girl outfits. With like, you know, these cool designs like on their faces and like all, you know, all this neat stuff. And I think the one thing, like, it was so fucking hot out.
Yeah.
And I got my press pass and I'm waiting in line with people. And I like, you know, I get, not to skip ahead too much, but like I get in the other side of the gate and talk to some other people with press passes. And they're like, oh, you like wait in the line? Like, yeah, I don't know. I put skin in the game. And they're like, oh, you just like could talk to someone. They would put you through the metal detector quicker. I'm like, I don't know, man. Because I tried doing that. And I just kind of got that face where people want to argue with me.
Right.
And like, it's never good if you've got a press pass and your first interaction with someone at the venue is an argument.
Yeah.
And I'm apparently just a guy. People look at me and like, I want to give this motherfucker a hard time. So I'm
I
just
know
gonna
I
wait
do every week. So yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. So I wait in the line, and at the switchback, there's like this 7-year-old girl with like, it looks like her older sister. And they're passing me. And on this little girl's shirt is the Suicide Roller Coaster. And beneath that, it says in big white text, "Everyone dies."
Jesus.
I was just like, what the fuck? All right. You know, and
7-year-old. Yeah.
You know, so there's just like all like lots of very like early aughts Hot Topic fashion.
Sure.
Which was,
it seems to be
upsetting because like, oh, cool. So how we dress like idiots.
Yeah.
Like you probably went on like Grailed or Depop and spent way too much money.
Yes.
Like on those kickwears and shit like that. And probably the best outfit I saw of anyone there was this dude who had like patchwork Jinko flares.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
And he was wearing like a wife beater with like the silver ball necklace.
Okay.
And he was wearing a very loose crochet top.
Okay.
And he had bleached hair with it like gelled down his to like
the Misfits thing.
Kind of more like high school poor bully in the early aughts.
Okay.
Like
okay.
every kid that called me a in high school had the same haircut, which was like really short, like the guy from ER, the fucking guy who played Batman.
No, George Clooney.
The George Clooney haircut, but instead of flipping up, you just went straight down to your forehead.
Okay, awful. Yeah, not great.
Yeah. He had that bleached, like looked, so it looked like a weird bohemian Eminem. But the thing that really, one that looked like a really uncomfortable thing to be wearing, like on a 95-degree day in the Midwest, in a place that has no fucking tree or shade,
nothing,
no trees or shade. But one of the patches on his knee, I shit you not, was the theatrical poster for Silence of the Lambs. Just like a really weird thing. I was like, well, you know, if you're really, but I was like, about this kind of thinking, like, you know what? I know this guy's a poser because it's not the Crow.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, you know,
well, the patchwork Jinkos didn't give it away. It was the
fact that it wasn't the Crow.
Okay,
but he very much looked like a dude in the early aughts that was 27 that was trying to date a 16-year-old, and their dates were all going to the bowling alley down the street. But that was just like impressive. Like, man, that is a
commitment.
Look.
Yeah, it certainly is.
There's some stuff that's working there, and there's stuff that ain't. But anyways, the show was fantastic. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but I had spent a lot of time with that record, her new record, Portals, and kind of found it to be fairly well made, well produced, and well performed. She, I guess, got into, I watched part of an interview, got into past life regression therapy.
Okay.
Which, you know what, like if you even if you just take it half seriously, that's probably going to be challenging a lot of things you think about.
Sure.
And it feels like there's a lot of that being expressed on the record. The album was performed front to back, nothing from her older records, just the new shit. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that really got me about that is how many bands I have seen live, even bands I love, even bands I'm friends with, if all they did was play their new record, there would be a problem.
Yeah.
For folks who live in better cities, St. Louis is that place where the first time one of your favorite bands will ever play here is touring by the absolute worst dog shit they've ever put out.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bad habit. I'm not going to name names, but there's some bands that I really love, and they finally play St. Louis, and it's like the record that everyone hates. Pitchfork gives it a 4, and it's like,
we're playing it front to back. Yeah.
And like, please don't play from this record.
Yeah,
but I just think that shows the confidence and the strength in the production and the record itself.
In your article, you did say that like it feels like this was the intended way it was meant to be seen,
right?
Kind of thing. Yeah,
and I think like her previous record K through 12, which she had like an hour-long movie, like little like novella movie that went along with it. I think there's probably going to be something like that goes with Portals. And so most people know Melanie Martinez as like the gap tooth Latino lady with the two-tone like Cruella de Vil hair, who dresses up like somewhere between like gothic Lolita and like age play fetish stuff.
Okay,
like it's kind of, there's some stuff in there where it's like like how she, like when I first photographed her in 2016, she wore like this puffy baby doll dress, and the hem was kind of like just like your normal like length across her thighs, but in front of her crotch it went up like above her navel, and so you could see her underwear. And she was wearing like, you know, I guess like boy shorts or something like that. They weren't like explicit or like suggestive, and I don't think there's really anything that suggestive about her crybaby persona, which is what she's been working with until this record. But like, I know what I look like. I look like if Andy Dick was melted down like a burrito. The other photographers at this show are also guys that are we're not conventionally attractive dudes, and some of us maybe could stand to lose a few pounds. And I remember just like kind of like looking in the photo pit, these other guys, and I just remember thinking to myself like, God, I hope no one brought Mike's Hard Lemonade.
No,
like it felt like a setup, and I just wanted to.
Chris Hansen's going to show up.
Yeah, and I just wanted to photograph that show because I thought she had an interesting look.
Yeah,
and you know, whatever. I didn't really like. I listened to a couple songs, like, okay, this is whatever. And I really showed. I'm like, oh no, this isn't like just a thing that was done for the promos and the music. This is the whole aesthetic,
the whole bit. Yeah. But not so much now.
No, it's a little bit more crystal mommy, as my girlfriend would say. It's a little bit more synth heavy, a little bit more kind of like dark pop.
Yeah, because the look from the photos that I saw, I think my phrasing was like, oh, okay, so it's Bjork and a little bit of Pan's Labyrinth, a little bit of Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. She's got the second pair of eyes. She's also apparently wearing a prosthetic bodysuit. Okay.
As well as the prosthetic on her head, the mask, which is wild. To do all of that performing in something that, like,
that's gotta not breathe at all. Yeah.
I think there was a couple of times where when the keyboard players like had a theremin, the theremin solos came in a little bit for I think so she could get some water.
Get off stage for a minute. Yeah.
But
it was hot. Yeah, you're in all that stuff. Yeah.
One of the things that was asked by her representation photographing this show was to not publish any photos where you can see the separation between the mask prosthetic and her face. That made the photos I chose to publish a little tough. And I probably pushed a couple photos that her representation won't be wild about, but I had to think of, okay, what if I look at this photo, like I would walk away from the photos from a bit, like go like, do a chore or something in my apartment and come back and like, okay, I look at this photo, is this separation distracting? Because sometimes there was photos I liked, but there was too much of a shadow because lighting of the mask onto her cheek, and that's distracting. And unfortunately, I have some really, really great photos of her during one of the interludes where her backup dancers grab like this basket and she like throws, looks like little like felt mushrooms at the crowd. And I just happened to be, and I knew she would do this during this song.
Okay.
And just to put this out there, and I'll give credit to her and her handlers and her people that are putting this tour together. Every set of photographers in every city had a different block of songs they've photographed, and for music photography is traditionally the first 3 songs. So we had songs 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
It was 13 songs for the first part of the performance, and there's 3 songs for the encore, which is like
so you got to shoot near the end,
and those 3 songs were Moon Cycle, Nymphology, and Evil, which are probably 3 of the strongest songs on that record. And so at the end of Nymphology, there's this interlude that's like just like a beat that her boyfriend had, and she put some vocals to it, and it's actually kind of tonally a little different than the rest of the record, but it's fun, it's whatever. It's her kind of being bratty, kind of being a little more crybaby, where the rest of the record is a little bit more introspective and kind of less bratty, a little bit more mature, I think is the word that most people are using. So I got photos of her. She's right in front of me, and I've got my zoom at its widest, which is like 24 millimeter, 28 millimeter. She's tossing these out, and I've got these photos of her like throwing, and I know from how she's postured that she sees my lens and she wants to be like centered right over me.
Yeah.
But the problem is, because of that prosthetic and because of the angle, I can like see her own ears.
Oh, and not the
And so the prosthetic doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to publish that photo because obviously there's a lot of time and thought that's been put into this presentation, into this
clearly,
performance.
yeah.
As much as I like that photo, I don't think it's appropriate. It doesn't do anyone any favors for that to be out there.
Right. Which is a shame, because that sounds like
there's a couple cool photos I took in that moment, and so that's the kind of thing you just kind of hold on, and maybe like a couple years from now you'd be like, here's she works onto a different aesthetic,
right? And you can kind of open that up.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say before we move on to your things. I know I'm being a little long-winded here. One of the things I really picked up also kind of listening to this record is that people have these interesting point of comparisons, like Carly Rae Jepsen and stuff that I don't really listen to a lot of her music, but I don't know if that's the best point of comparison in my opinion, because for me, listening to Portals was like, oh, this is kind of like Grimes. This is kind of like what Grimes has been doing for the last couple of records.
Yeah.
Since Art Angels. Instead of going into like this weird like transhumanist like eco-fascism, it's just like kind of like kinder. Like there's some really like some venom on this record for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more hopeful. It's a little more introspective. I know I'm using these words a couple times, but it's just like this contrast. Like they both dabble in some of the same aesthetics. They both sing with a lisp.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can't really say shit about that because I speak with a lisp. But I like Melanie Martinez a lot more than Grimes because she didn't like get knocked up by like the world's worst poster in hopes that maybe one day she can die on Mars.
Yeah.
Be the first woman disrespected on Mars. Like the worst thing Melanie Martinez has done that I can think of is that like there's a $400 like VIP package, and one of the things you can do is like have a video taken with you in like a AI of her.
Oh, jeez.
Which is
okay.
Yeah, capitalism ruins everything, doesn't it, folks? That's like the worst thing I can say about her right now. It's like, man, that
we'll take it.
Yeah, compared to like that, compared to like Grimes and like all of like there's something that's a little greedy and a little.
Yeah, sure.
You are signed to a major label,
Yeah, it kind of comes with the territory, I think, at a certain point. Like,
but otherwise, it's great. Go listen to the record. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, based on your recommendation last week, I started listening to it. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Had a lot of fun with it.
This 2 old guys for listening to music that's meant for like kids that have shaved off their eyebrows.
Hey,
my girlfriend was like texting me. She's like, "Hey, just make sure no girls with septum piercings try to." Mm-hmm. And daddy issues try to take you home, and I'm like, I don't think I got what they need.
No. So I don't have anything nearly that exciting as far as the breath mint this week. I've really been laying low. I'm still enjoying Our Flag Means Death. Taika Waititi did show up as Blackbeard in it, which is fine, I guess. It's fine.
Did that kind of ruin it for you?
No, I don't think that necessarily ruined it for me, but I did kind of go into those next few episodes after we talked and be like, well, I guess this is all right.
Does it get better?
It stays very much in that same tone.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that really does improve is that you spend more time with the characters. They go through some changes. There's a Leslie Jones extended cameo that then she becomes kind of a sort of a regular. Fred Armisen is in it as well.
Does he play an instrument?
No, he's a bartender, so thankfully that we avoided that. There's a Tim Heidecker cameo.
I see we're on this boat. Wow.
Will Arnett shows up in it for an episode. So there's some...
Wow, I'm on this boat!
Actually, that is pretty much the character he does. But there's a great episode where it's Nick Kroll and Kristen Schaal as
I'm on this boat.
Yeah.
I'm Christopher Walken on this. I'm just
Nick Kroll and Kristen Schaal are this aristocratic couple that invites them. They get an invite.
You're lucky I can't do a Christian Schaal voice.
We're on this boat.
But
there's sure wacky things going on this boat. What's a homosexual?
Right. So the crew of the Revenge winds up on the boat and they scam all the rich people and accidentally start a fire and leave them all to die. So that was a nice moment.
Okay, actually, I think
good.
I would probably watch that episode.
So there's some real goofy stuff, but the tone kind of stays relatively the same. It's this kind of positive core thing where I don't know. There's moments of darkness and there's some really cool character moments, and I think it's not nearly as gay as people make it out to be, but it certainly does have a few moments where you're like, oh, okay, I've never seen that on a pirate thing before. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not the whole identity of the show. I do like some of the comic sensibility and just kind of this real dry, but then there's gross out shit like somebody cuts his own finger off and like there's just some weird, so it kind of vacillates there. And then speaking of concerts though, because I at random, my wife goes, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? Yeah, thank you. She says, what do you want to do this weekend? I said, I don't know. She goes, well, Tori Amos is playing. And I have not seen Tori Amos in about 20 years.
Wow.
And so that was around actually, I didn't even go to that show. My wife went to that show. I guess I was working or something, but it was the Strange Little Girls tour where she was doing the album of covers. So it's been quite a while since I've seen her, and she's doing a tour. She's coming through on Friday. I'm very excited to see it. But that led me to revisit what is quite possibly her best album, which is Boys for Pele.
Oh, yeah.
Just top to bottom, banger record. Can't recommend it enough.
My sister played the shit out of that when I was a little kid.
Yeah, because it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. But then, I was revisiting some of the newer stuff. Scarlet's Walk was kind of neat. I hadn't really listened to that in a while. So I've been digging into the Tori Amos catalog from the past several years, and because I think the last one I really spent any kind of time with was Scarlet's Walk, yeah. Which again, some of my Tori head fans out there will go, well, what are you doing? That got me thinking, and this is a random stray thought that I had, but I had to get it out. I was scrolling through TikTok mindlessly as you do, and then I realized, oh shit, I subscribed to Tori Amos's TikTok. Apparently she has one. And she's getting wheeled out from backstage in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. Apparently she hurt her foot on some tour stop. She's getting wheeled out from backstage. Big glasses on. She's, in her 50s now. And I was like, oh, is that Toni Collette? Because I didn't realize what I was doing.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, that's not an insult. That's just like...
But your brain's trying to put the two connections together, and that's like the first thing that fired, and you're like...
Well, I guess I had just recently seen Hereditary or something. I don't know. I was thinking about Toni Collette, but yeah, and then I thought, oh man, if they ever do a Tori Amos biopic, you gotta get Toni Collette. You gotta have her come in. But yeah, I'm very excited. I haven't been to a big show since we saw Ani DeFranco.
Yeah,
which has been a good 6 months or so. So yeah, it's been a while. I don't go to shows, like you and I went to Jeffy and the Sunken Heads, and we went, we might be going to the mall.
That's MS Paint.
MS Paint, sorry.
MS Paint, Pink Strap. Oscillator Sync's going to be here, which I haven't seen them in forever. I think they're actually playing that Sunday. So they're playing on the 23rd.
They're doubling up, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good 2 days for synth punk in St. Louis.
For sure. But yeah, I haven't been to a show in a while, or a big show in a while, and we're going to Stiefel, which that's one that I don't think I've been there since God, I can't even think. I think it's been early 2000s. Because I originally thought, that's where I saw Deftones. I'm like, no, that was the American Theater. It was a different place.
Oh man, the American Theater was so cool.
It was. That's also where I saw Third Eye Blind and Smoking Popes opened. It was a very odd show.
Damn.
Yeah.
I only ever saw Megadeth.
Oh, well, hell. Yeah, you got one up on me on there.
It was the Risk tour, so that was kind of like the tail end of good Megadeth as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. That, and then I've been dicking around with the Portal 2 multiplayer.
Yeah.
My son got into Portal, beat the whole first game, and then I was like, your old man is pretty good at these. Why don't we? It's the first time I played the Portal 2 multiplayer. Never really had anybody to play with. So I'm playing with my 13-year-old son. It's a fucking hoot. If you get the Portal 2 multiplayer, it's really fun, especially if you got two people who kind of know what they're doing. Okay, awesome. and then you got to go. Okay, now we got to go through here. You make a portal there. You should.
So you guys doing like couch co-op? Or?
Yeah. We're sitting right where you are, and then I'm over on the other one, and he's got the keyboard, and I got the controller.
That's awesome.
We're just we're projecting on the wall. And we're just doing the big. It's great. It's real fun. Highly recommend to anybody who needs a couch co-op game that they can play with either their significant other or their kid. It works either way. It's
automatically in girlfriend mode, folks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially because you know how Portal is. Like, there's no lives. There's no real failure state. It's as long as you can figure out the puzzle, you can get through the level.
Remember, folks, the cake is a lie.
He's right, though. And so that was a lot of fun, though. I really like finding games I can play with him, because most of the time I'll try to play something. I go, either it's a single player or like it's Mortal Kombat, and he's 13. I'm like, all the blood and the gore and the.
You can probably play the older ones.
He has, actually, via emulation. We have the first three. And, the newer ones, though,
they're pretty
fucking
saucy.
graphic. Oh,
yeah.
I was playing the other day. Grabbed the Mortal Kombat 11 for like $8, and it had all the characters and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, that's $8. That's fine. And I'm like, this is fucking gross.
They don't really hold back.
Like, this is what people thought it was in the 90s. Like, it's now finally caught up to its reputation. Like, Jesus Christ.
What Congress thought in 93. Yeah.
Joe Lieberman telling you, this is a virtual murder simulator.
Kids are going to play this game, and they're going to kill themselves and their parents.
Yeah, well,
and we need them for our military. We can't have them doing that.
Well, yeah, there was that. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Joe Lieberman seems like a guy that would have like an inflation fetish.
I think Bill Hicks had it right. It was like there's no one that far right that doesn't have some sort of dirty secret.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's something repressed about them.
Loves pine cones rubbed on the soles of his feet.
He's just, he's got
he's listening to the MASH soundtrack. Suicide is painless.
Yeah. Well, that about does it for the show. Let's tell everybody where they can find us online and send us all a nice congratulations message for our 1 year of doing whatever this is.
Can you send me the Daniel Pearl video, but he's wearing a party
for hat. The love of God.
And instead of his neck falling back, he's blowing out cake.
You know what? I just paid Midjourney some money. Let me see if I can find that for you. Make it up for you.
Daniel Pearl at Tiananmen Square. Anyways.
What would that even look like?
All right. That's
for Midjourney to figure out.
That's for Midjourney to figure out.
Yeah, that's not.
If you want to harass me on the internet, you can find me at iShotGuiDeBoard. That's ISH. If you want to send me death threats or harass me on the internet, you can find me at iShotGuiDeBoard. That's ISHOTGUIDBORD on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. And if you want to check out my foes and words, hey, musicphotographer.com. I don't know if I have any other good pluggables right now, Jason. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter and various other places as Videocrime, VIDEOCRIME. That includes Twitter, Blue Sky, and whatever else you can probably think of. And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as @LaserGooseCEO. You can also contact the show. This is the big one. We want to hear from you. 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY POO. That's right. If you want to spell with your telephone, please give us a call. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you think about the past year of the program. Or just, leave me a death threat. I don't know. But you can also send us emails. Brian, BRYAN, at 48minutesdogsbarking.com. Jason at 48minutesdogsbarking.com. And I have the Joey's World Tour episode. We mentioned him at the top of the show. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to cut it up as best I can. I'll put it on the Patreon, patreon.com/48minutesdogs.
Come get your hot garbage.
Yeah. It is a very early episode, so it is very rough, but I'll give you what we got. Patreon supporters only, so that's going to be one of those things.
Chuck up them $5.
Yep.
Hope you got $5.
Exactly right. Well, this is the part of the program we play some music. We'll take you out. Right here is a group that I just found out about called Uranium Club.
Oh,
yeah.
What are they about?
It's some weird avant-garde shit, and that's the kind of thing that I'm really into. This here's song, That Clown's Got a Gun.
All right.
Which seems, thematic. This is where we say namaste and good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
666, a cycle with a twist. At 8 a.m. the bomb was dropped, adventurous, find pleasure there, night away. My mind enslaved, his mercy can't be topped. I find wrecking